Hey everyone, I have here my top 3 books for the year. I'm so excited to finally kind of close out 2025 so we can really start thinking about 2026. I'm so excited for 2026, but 2025 was such a great reading year. It was really hard to pick my lowest 3 because all of them were so amazing. All right, let's go ahead and get going with first my bottom 3. So I like to start with the negative on this channel so that I can finish positively. So let's go ahead and start with my bottom 3. So this is my third worst book of the year, and you will see how good my reading year was because this book is still fantastic, and it's my third worst of the 2025 year was Hogfather. I still loved it. It just shows you how amazing this year was that I still loved this book. The humor is perfect, Terry Pratchett. If you've watched any of my videos, I'm just always praising his humor. This one was probably the first Discworld where you kind of had to read other ones first. I would not recommend reading this one first for Discworld, which is pretty unique. Normally I'm like, it works, you could read this one first. But Hogfather, really not. I would read some more of the Death series before reading this one. But that's not why it's on this list. It's because the ending wasn't as good as I feel like it could have been. And it was kind of confusing, and that's not like him. His endings are usually so punchy and so well thought out. And this one just didn't feel like that. So I think that's why it's down here. So pretty much 3/4 of this book, it would be way higher. But the last little fourth kind of killed it. So that's the only reason it's down here. It makes me so sad because it is a good book. I still recommend it. I still think you should read it. But yeah, the ending kind of killed it for me. But yeah, it's still a good book, even though it's down here. And that shows you how amazing my reading year was. I had no, I forget the category of it. It's not D, it's like E or something. I had no bottom category for this year at all. The next one was The Mysterious Affair at Styles. This one was purely because of expectations. It's not a bad book at all. I think that my mom just hyped it too much. Sorry, Mom. This is her favorite of Agatha Christie, and I think I just expected way too much of it. It was good. It just wasn't my favorite, and that disappointment kind of brings it down. But I feel like if I reread it, maybe I'll reread it and I'll feel differently. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe on a reread, I'll see why my mom loves it so much. But yeah, second least favorite, again, not a bad book, even though it's down here at the bottom. That shows how great this year is. And then the last one is also because of expectations. So that kind of shows you. Expectations really change how you see a book. The Problem of Pain by C.S. Lewis is a great book, and you should read it. But I just thought it would be way more encouraging than it was. I was also very stressed during this time of year, and I don't know how much that affected me reading this, but honestly, I just wanted to get through it. And that's not like me, and it's not like C.S. Lewis either. Normally, I really love his books. So, I don't know what happened, This book just didn't hit the way I thought it would. I think I also expected too much of it. I don't think it is, I don't know. It's just hard to read, so maybe that was part of it. Which the title kind of tells you it's going to be hard to read. Yeah, but that's the negative part, and I'm so glad I'm not ending on the negative because I like ending on the positive on this channel, like I said. So let's go to my favorite books of the year. Much better. But here are my top 3 reads of 2025. The first one is very special, is my first Agatha Christie, Death on the Nile. I don't know what it was about my first Agatha Christie, but this was so adventurous and so fun, and the writing was new and fresh, and her writing is so masterful. I just will never have an experience like this. I'll read other Agatha Christie's, but I don't really think anything will top this. I loved it so much. It was so good, and just very special to me. So I went through the whole thing kind of with this wide-eyed, I have no clue what to expect. And I just don't think anything will ever match that, which is fine because she is such a great author. It's okay. But Death on the Nile was definitely a top 3 book. So number 3, Death on the Nile. Okay. My number 2 was also very, very special, and it was Gathering Storm by Brandon Sanderson, and obviously planned by Robert Jordan. This one was super special to me because I was so nervous about Brandon Sanderson taking over Robert Jordan's work. I'd been reading Wheel of Time for like 4 years by this point, by the time I had gotten to this one. And I was just so used to Jordan's writing and his character work that I was really nervous about Brandon Sanderson. And I'd also read some Brandon Sanderson that didn't have the best pacing. So I was really nervous for this book. But the reason it's number 2 is that all of those worries were unfounded. This book is absolutely fantastic. So much psychology work, which Brandon Sanderson's very good at. It was just absolutely fantastic. He did a great job trying to copy the voice. Obviously, it can't be perfect, but he did such a good job. Such a good job. And it also started with this little like note to the fans by Brandon Sanderson, and it made me cry, which is not easy for reading for me. I don't cry a lot when I read. So this book was just very special to me, and it just was such a good job. So yeah, number 2, best book of the year, second best. Okay? And then the last one, I can't believe this is not my favorite book of all time now. And it still doesn't beat my favorite book of all time. It is Timeline by Michael Crichton. If you don't know, I'm a huge Michael Crichton fan. I'm hoping to finish his works, at least the ones that I own this year. I think I said that 2 years ago too, and I didn't even come close. But Timeline was incredibly good. This is super surprising. If you've watched me for any amount of time, you know I hate time travel. But this one just did it so well that I didn't care. It's set in medieval times, and they travel back to medieval times, and it just has all the things that make Michael Crichton so amazing. Great characters and great science, but science that the average reader can understand. So just amazing, amazing work. So yeah, Timeline was definitely the best book of the year, and I can't believe it. It's so great. All right. So I realized I didn't really finish it, so I hope y'all have a great year. That was my top and bottom of the year, and I hope y'all have a great 2026 reading year. See y'all then. Bye.